And how did you come into the roots equation? So this is a terrific collaboration, an interesting one. What brought these observers and promoters of Canada together?
They phoned me up and said, look, if you just let us use your name, we'll write a big check, and you never have to come near the factory. Not.
Really, it came through a mutual acquaintance, a film producer, who produced Douglas's film. Yeah. And I think in their discussions, and I don't know what they were smoking or drinking or where this came from, but they started discussing clothing design, and Douglas, said that he never designed clothing before, but he, was very interested in learning about that in the process. And I think in their discussions, they said, well, what company could we, team up with and collaborate with in Canada? And I think it was a very short list, and right at the top of the list was Roots. And Chris was able to track Michael and I down, and we had our initial meeting with Chris, and he brought the idea to us. And I was familiar with Douglas's literature, but not his visual artistic side. And Chris brought in a beautiful presentation of what Doug's incredible home in West Vancouver looks like, and what his artistic aesthetics are like. And it was, very similar to, it was very, very modern, contemporary artwork, which is the type of artwork that, Michael and I both love. And so we dwelled on the possibility of, working with Douglas. Casually, I asked my 28-year-old son, who is a big Douglas fan, what do you think? Should we do this? And without hesitation, it was, absolutely, you have to do it. And then the next meeting took place with Douglas, and he came in and asked him how much clothing he had ever designed, and the answer was 0. and so he said, let's get started, and it was pretty simple to kept the deal simple, and we got going in a hurry.
We went from 0 to open sign in 10 months, I think.
Correct. Correct. Yeah.
And what would you say to people in the audience who've maybe had projects that they wish wouldn't get from 0 to kind of up and running in a year, and don't always get them to go that fast? Any advice you'd give to this audience on what things you did that made it go so quickly?
Can I throw a few out there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Enjoy coffee.
Yes.
Try and work with a company that's privately owned, so that you don't have to go through all sorts of people in the middle to get decision made. It's
layers.
Enjoy it. I think and that's kind of like anything in life. If you don't enjoy doing it, just stop.
One of the hardest things to do, I think, as a company or probably a country as well, is not to do what you've described those U.S. retailers doing, which is to tack right in the direction of your competitors for safety in numbers. It feels to me as though Roots has spent its career, its lifetime, tacking away, if anything, from the competitors and staying distinctive. Is that how you feel? And two, how do you do it? How do you overcome the tendency to converge?
Doug hit on something very important. Before roughly 2000, to be successful in Canada, you had to be validated in America. And I don't think that Don or I felt that way when we came to Canada. We saw it was around us. But because we came from the States, we didn't feel we needed to be validated there. And I think that we've tried to expand the company from within, not through fabrication or just what most of our competitors have done. And I think that we've created for the most part, we can improve, but we've created this really unique brand and lifestyle, and our customers trust us.
In our business, like you said, it's so competitive, and there's very strong American giants that are, trying to not have us still in business. And so what we have to do is be very distinctive, and we have to have a point of view. We feel we've really kept on track all these years. That the thread of design from day one to where we are today is not that different. Our business principles from day one to today are very, very similar. Our real key to distinction within our small footprints, the American competition that you're referring to, have very, very large stores. And we believe in much smaller stores that we find to be much more intimate.
Yeah.
In terms of we're a private company, don't have the large public sums available to us. We have to keep our footprint small. We have to keep the inventories tight. And within that, we have to create, great product to make it into a root store. And the real part of our distinctive product is, and we keep going back to it, is the leather side of the business.
Yeah.
That's the anchor of the business. The women's leather and men's now handbag business is one of the greatest businesses there is. Because there's only one size to the product versus, footwear, there's, many sizes. In clothing, there's many sizes. And women now, where they would used to buy a handbag maybe once a year, now 2, 3, 4 times a year, they're, for anywhere from $100 to $300 at Roots.
So you've noticed that too.
You're able to. Are you finding that at home? You're able to. A woman is able to get a very new, fresh, feeling, style-wise by buying an accessory, as opposed to clothing has become so ridiculously expensive. I mean, we've been able to keep our products at a reasonable level because, again, there's no middlemen, no wholesalers. From day one, the concept being, make it ourselves, direct to the public.
Yeah.
Which is a corny expression, but it holds true. And you see what happens when marketing budgets, big marketing budgets get involved, and wholesalers and middlemen and so many layers and distributors and the price. We know what clothing costs, and if a woman's paying $300, $400, $500 for a dress, the first cost of those products is so low.
Yeah.
And it just gets jacked up so much along the chain, and we don't believe in that, and we just think, again, doing the right thing, giving them fair market value, great product, continuing doing that, sticking to our vision, good things continue to happen to the company.